Hello everyone, welcome to your own channel, and today's topic of the class is user defined methods. Student, you might be thinking that in class 9 you were using only main method. Then why the need of these user defined methods arise? So my dear students, in class 9 you were making very simple and small programs. But if I give you the large program or a project, and if you write the whole code in one main function, then what will be happen? Complexity of the programs will be increased and program will be less readable. Also, it will be difficult to find the error, and if you want to use the same code, you will repeat the statements, right? So repetition of statements will be more. So to avoid all these complexity, we use method. Now what is method? What we do? See, suppose what is a program? Program is a set of instructions or set of statements. Suppose these are the set of instructions, and these 4 statements are used to check a number whether it is prime or not. Fine. Check prime or not. And after few statements, again you are checking whether the another number b is prime or not. So same set of statements we have repeated. So instead of repeating these set of statements, what we can do? We can make group of similar statements which are used to perform a certain task. In this case, to check prime number, and give it a name prime and keep it at one place. Fine. And whenever these statements will be needed in main function, so instead of repeating or instead of writing the statements again and again, what can be done? We can just call this block by its name. Only prime we need to write in the main function, not the code. So if you use this, then what will be happen? The length of the program will be reduced, complexity will be decreased, readability will be more, or repetition, obviously the repetition will be reduced. So these are the few advantages of method. I hope you have understood what is the need of method. So first we will see different types of method. Types of method. There are 2 types of method. So first type is system defined method, or you can say built-in method, or library method. So all these are same. This is one type only. Either you call it system defined or built-in or library method. Another type is user defined method. So what is the difference between system defined or library method and user defined method? So first we will talk about these. These types of method defined by the Java developers, and whenever we need, we can simply call this function by the name. Like we have already used such type of functions like math.cbrt, math.sqrt, pow, max, min, all are library methods, all are built-in. So whenever we need these methods, we can simply call it by its name. Now, what are user defined method? User defined method, as the name indicate, defined by the user. So these methods are defined by the user, and these can be customized by the user as per the requirement. So what user do? User creates the group, or you can say the block of statements, and that can be reused as many times as we want. So user defined methods are defined by the user and can be customized by as per the need of user. Fine. So these are the different. So today's topic is user defined method. So we will talk about user defined method more. Now the next is, what is the syntax of method? User defined method we are talking. So before the syntax of method, if you want to write the definition, you can write method is a collection of similar statements that are grouped together to perform a certain task. So this is the definition of method. Method is a collection of similar statements that are grouped together to perform a certain task, right? Now the syntax is, first we will write the access specifier, then return type, then method name, and then in bracket we pass the parameter list. So access specifier, return type, method name, and in parenthesis we pass the parameter list. Then the curly braces open, curly braces close, and the task. Fine. Here we write the task to be done or the set of statements. Now we will understand each word one by one. So first is access specifier. Okay, if I want to write the function, this is the syntax. So how will I write the code for this? Suppose access specifier is public, return type void, method name display, parameter list is not mandatory. If it is needed, you will pass that, and here the body of the method. And in body I am writing here system.out.println hello world. Right, this is the message. Function public void display. Now the first line is this one. We call this method prototype or method header. Fine. This is method prototype or method header, right? So now we will see what is access specifier first. So first let's see access specifier. Access specifier are the keywords that tells us the scope of usage of function, that tells us the scope of usage of function, where we can use the function. It depends upon the access specifier. Now what type of access specifier, what are these keywords? These are public, private, private, protected, last is default. Fine. First letter is small, P is small. Fine. This is also small, this is also small. So public, private, protected, default, these are the four types of access specifier. So let's understand one by one. So for this I am making two package. What are package? Package are the collection of classes. So here it is package A and here it is package B. right? So in package, first class is X, and in this class we have defined a function, let it be public void AB, right? Suppose AB is the function and SOPLN, any message, hello. Suppose this is a function defined in class X. So what is the syntax of it? Public. So access specifier, we have used public here, then the return type is void, and then function name AB, then the parenthesis. Fine. One more class I am taking here because package is a collection of classes. So one more class is class Y, let it be. And in package B, class P is there, suppose, and one more class is there, class Q. Fine. Two packages, package A, package B. So package can be user defined also. We can make our own packages. So in package A, suppose there are two classes, class X and class Y. Package B, two classes, class P and class Q. In class X, there is one user defined method, and what is that? Public void AB. So we have used which access specifier? Public, means it is publicly declared. Public means when you are declaring any method public, it means it can be accessed anywhere. In any class it can be accessed, whether it is within the package or outside the package. So public means it can be accessed. So in this case, this function can be invoked, can be called in class Y, can be invoked or can be accessed in class P, and can be accessed in class Q because it is publicly declared, right? I hope it is clear. Now the second access specifier is protected. Now the second is protected. Protected we will use in inheritance. Okay, so protected means if the method is declared protected, means it can be accessed within the class in which it is defined, like class X, and in other subclasses. Fine. In inheritance, what we do, we create the subclasses from the superclass, so that we will study later. So here you understand this, protected is also an access specifier which can be accessed within the class or in other subclasses. Class X, class Y subclass हो अभी separate है class Y, but if we have created the subclass of this class X, then in that we have we can call that, or in other packages if subclasses are there, we can call this function AB if it is protected. So protected means within a class or in other subclasses. So forget about the what are subclasses, what are inheritance, that we will study later. Now the next is private. So if I am using here access specifier private, private means within a class only. If it is defined in class X, we can use this function in class X only. We cannot call this function in class Y or in another packages or outside the package. Fine. So private means within the class only, right? Now the last is default. Default access specifier means if I don't write anything, then in that case it is default access specifier. And what does the default means? Default means it can be accessed in any class, but within the package in which the class is defined. Fine. Not in outside the package. Public can be accessed anywhere. This is the only difference between default and public. Public can be accessed outside the package. Fine. Outside the package A, it can be accessed public, but default only all classes within the package A, not outside. This is the difference. So I hope it is clear. So if you want to write Okay, public means, but I will provide you notes also. You can get the PDF in the description. So public means can be accessed or accessible in all the classes. Can be accessed in all the classes within package or outside the package. Private means within class in which it is defined, in which the method is defined. Fine, just understand now. Within class only, private accessibility is within class in which the method is defined. Fine. And protected means within class and in subclasses and in all subclasses. And default means within package. Within package means in all the classes of same package. Fine. So this was about access specifier. I hope you have understood the scope of usage of function. Now the next is, as per the syntax, after access specifier we have used the return type. Now what is return type? Okay, let's see. Now let's see return type. So what is this return type? Return type means function can return any value. Okay, I am writing function can return any value of valid data type. So whatever the valid data type, it can return any value. Int, double, float. Fine. Function can return any value of valid data type. And if function does not return anything, it means the return type will be void. If function doesn't return anything. Fine. Return. If function does not return, then the return type will be void. Fine. Now function can return only one value at one time. It cannot return more than one value. Like it return s, or in braces or in parentheses you can write return s. This is valid. But if I write return s comma p, this will be invalid because function can return only one value at one time. Fine, I will show you in the program. Now the next, I hope it is clear, return type. Now the next is, after return type is access specifier, then return type, then the method name. Now what should be the method name? The method name should be taken in such a way that it should clear the purpose. Fine. And it should be relevant. So that's it about method name. And then we have passed the parameter list. Now we will see what is this parameter list. So we can see, okay, I am writing here only, which you pass in the method parameter list. So for this I am writing one example, like I am writing a user defined method public int, return type also I am showing in the same function, return int, then product is the method name, and I am passing the parameters int x, int y, right? Access specifier, return type, method name, parameter list. And in the body I am writing, as I have taken product, so I will find out the product of x into y. As I have taken the return type in, so I will use the return. What will I return? P, right? Or in parentheses you can write. So this is the method. So what is parameter list? Parameter list can be defined as, it is the sequence of data type and identifier separated by commas. So what is parameter list? Parameter list is a sequence of data type and identifier separated by commas. So this is also called argument list also. Fine. So return type, and one more thing is P is int type. So if P is int type, so here it should be int. So this and this should be same, data type of value, and this return type should be same. As we are returning the int data type, so that's why I have written here int. Fine, I hope it is clear. Fine. So we have seen the syntax of user defined method. Now we will see how to invoke a method in a program. So I'll show you with the help of program. So let's make. Next topic is how to invoke a method. Or function, right? How to invoke a method. So for this I am writing a program, small program, import java.util.asterisk class. I am making box. In that I will make a user defined method, public void volume int L, int B, int H. So public, access specifier, return type, method name, and the parameter list we have passed. Fine. Now the method body starts. So we need to calculate the volume. So I am taking here int V equals to L into B into H, right? And we will display here only system dot out dot println volume equals to plus V. So no return type, I have displayed here only. Now what about in main method? So public static void main string args. So first we will create the object of scanner class. Scanner obj equals to new scanner system dot in, right? Then we will display message system dot out dot println enter LBH. Fine, enter LBH. Then we will take three variable L1, B1, H1. Int L1 equals to obj dot next int, int B1 equals to obj dot next int, and int H1 equals to obj dot next int. So these are the three parameters which we will pass in this function. Fine, because as we have taken the parameter list. Now how we will invoke this method from the main method? This is the main thing, right? So now to invoke this method from the main, we will create the object of this class box. About static, non-static, we will discuss in the next class. Right now we are just learning that how to invoke a user defined method from the main method, and the procedure is to create the object of box class. So as I have already told you how to create the object of class, box class name object name B1 equals to new space box. So we have created one object of class box. Box B1 equals to new box, right? Then with the help of this object name, we will invoke the method B1 dot volume. So as we have passed 3 parameters, so we will pass 3 values. Which values? L1, B1, H1. L1, B1, H1 and then semicolon. So this is the function call. Fine. We are invoking the function volume from the main method. And here we are passing the parameters. So L1, B1, H1, whatever we have, we will input at the time of execution of program. These values will be assigned in L, B, H respectively. In the same order, L1 will be assigned in L, B1 will be assigned in B, H1 will be in H. Then the volume will be calculated and the volume will be displayed, right? Then that's it. We will close the main function and then we will close the class. So now see, there are 2 functions. First is this user defined function volume and another is this main method. Fine. Now this function is being invoked, this function is being called, that's why we call it called function. Volume function को call किया है, that's why we will call it called function, right? Now and in main function we are calling the function volume. So that's why we call main function as calling function or caller function also. In few books it is caller function and in others it is calling function. So both are same, caller function or calling function. Fine. This is called function, this is calling function. 2 new terms. Now the next is what are actual parameters and what are formal parameters in this. See, the parameters which we are passing in a function call, that is actual parameters. Actual parameters, these L1, B1, H1 which we are passing in a function call, and the functions or the parameters passed in called function is called formal parameter. Fine. So you can write, first I am writing actual parameters. Parameters that are passed in a function call. Parameters that are passed in a function call are called actual parameter. Formal parameters, parameters that are passed in where called function, that are passed in called function is called formal parameters. Fine. I hope it is clear, actual parameter, formal parameter. So that's it in this video. In the next video we will discuss the static, non-static and much more. So thanks for watching.